Hey everybody, my name's Drew. I own Evolution Cycles in Alton, Illinois. I am a mechanic and a custom bike builder. And this is my introduction to my YouTube channel for you, just to give you a history and the background of everything going on with the shop and how it got to where we're at today. What I'm going to do with this channel is I'm going to show some bikes being built along the way, you know, step-by-step process of what we go through when we're building bikes sometimes. Give you weekly recaps of what's going on in the shop, what we're working on, as well as take you some shows, do a little highlights of some of the bigger shows and small shows that we go to, and just kind of give you a little behind-the-scenes footage of how it gets done. But I think in this episode, I think I'm going to tell you exactly how things got started for me, just so you have a little background on the shop and what it took and what it took me to get to where I'm at now. So with that being said, I've been here about 7 years. I apprenticed for a while at another shop. Everything I have taught myself for everything I do is all self-learned, self-taught. I'm the type of person that if I want to know, I'm going to figure out a way for somebody to show me, or I'm going to just go buy whatever it is and screw it up until I get it right. So I got my first bike, it was a 2003 Sportster, and my brother actually bought it for me because I was in the middle of a nasty divorce, and he thought that having a motorcycle to ride would change my life, and he was 100% correct. It literally changed my life. I didn't know much about him. All I knew was I wanted to know more about motorcycles. The more I rode it, the more I wanted to know. So I opened up a detailing shop out of my garage, just so I could touch every motorcycle on earth. It was called Double D Detailing, which soon after a little while it started transitioning to handlebar swaps and, you know, simple repairs along the way. And then I bought a cheap $300 TIG welder on eBay and started trying to teach myself how to weld. And eventually I was working as an apprentice for a company when a family friend had a bike that he needed some work done. And after we fixed the bike, I told him, I was like, look, if you did a couple things to it, it'd make it more valuable for you to probably get more interest in the sell. And after we kind of did some wheels, tires, and some bars and simple stuff to his bike, we went in business together. And then the first name of the shop was Alton Chop Shop. But the problem with Alton Chop Shop was it was a short-lived name because nobody wanted to insure it because it sounded like a theft ring. So me and the family friend, we went to Indiana to buy some bikes. And at first our goal was this: we were going to go buy some stock bikes at an auction. We were going to take these stock bikes and I was going to do some custom touches to it to make them more sought after. So who wouldn't like to come to a Harley store, and the bike is already set up with bars, exhaust, you know, rims, whatever you want, and then you just leave with not having to finance and do all the work is just already done, and it's just all part of it. So on the way, I was scrolling through, you know, Marketplace, and I find a 1985 Softail. So if you know anything about 85 Softail, well, then you'll know they're unicorns. So I call the guy, and we meet up, and it's as stock as it gets, and it's pretty clean, it's nice. So we give the money to the guy, and the color of the bike was black and gold. So I look or said, since this is the first bike we're buying, the colors of the shop are now black and gold. And since this motor is an Evo motor, I think we're gonna call the shop Evolution Cycles. And that's how the name came. Is I still own the bike. I still have the bike. The first bike that was ever bought for the shop, I was able to get it back in not too long ago, and that's still one of my daily riders. It's fun. But shortly after, me and that guy, we split ways due to some differences in opinions, and we landed at a couple different areas, and had some bumps, and we'll call them bumps and bruises along the way of growing pains and that such stuff. As I grew and got a new building, companies that I was leasing from would see that I was doing more business, so they thought they would try and raise my rent, and so I literally moved every year for the first 3 years. And it's hard to establish clientele if you're constantly picking up and moving. So now, this location I'm at now, I own. I got tired of leasing. I got tired of dealing with the bull crap. So I just sucked it up and bought the building I'm in. Now, cool part about this building, I found out after I purchased it, was my grandpa and my great-grandpa started their first business together in like 1948 in this very building. I still use his compressor from, not in this shop originally, from their last location, but I have his compressor. I have some of his tools here in the shop, and those are probably my most sacred possessions. My grandpa owned car dealerships, so they would sell cars. Well, first they started with them fixing cars up, and they had a gas station. They fixed them and blah blah. But he realized he could make more money selling them, so he started selling them. But it's a kind of a cool feeling to know my business is now where his business started, and my business can grow in the same place his business grew. And I can only hope that it's as successful as his was one day, but only time will tell. So that kind of brings us up to speed to where we're at, and that's how we got here. So we're working on some bikes right now, some chopper builds. In the next episodes, I'll show you the couple different choppers we're going to be working on and building. And then just kind of go through what it takes and what it goes. And I might set this stuff up and just let it record as I go all day long and fabricate all day long, and you just kind of get to see how my mindset works. And it's not a normal mindset, so I don't want people to think it's I do things very the typical way. Since I had to teach myself the ways to do things that I understand. So I don't use a lot of fancy tooling to build my bikes. I don't have a lot of fancy equipment. Cutoff wheel, a heating torch, a tubing bender, a grinder, your basic stuff is all I need. If I need something machined, my buddy down the street has a machine shop. I go see him. I throw whatever in his lathe, spin it down, boom, done, gone. So that's kind of a rundown of how I got started and where I'm at now. So hopefully this piques your interest to see what I'm building and seeing what I'm doing. And if so, like, subscribe, do what you can, spread the word, and let's try and get this thing, kind of going and see what happens. Until next week, guys, or until the next update, I'll see ya. Enjoy the rides.